In the vast expanse of time, a mere blip of a few thousand years can seem insignificant. Yet, within this fleeting moment, a profound transformation reshaped the fate of an entire species. This is the story of the cognitive revolution, a monumental leap that catapulted Homo sapiens from the middle of the food chain to the very apex of the Earth. Our journey begins around 70,000 years ago, during an era when our ancestors were but one of the many human species inhabiting the planet. They were not yet the dominant force of nature, competing with the likes of Neanderthals and other archaic humans. Yet, something extraordinary began to stir within the minds of these early Homo sapiens. Before this revolution, communication was rudimentary, limited to basic warnings and expressions. But then, as if sparked by a divine insight, humans acquired a unique and powerful ability: the capacity for complex language. This newfound skill was not just an evolution of vocal cords, it was a revolution of the mind. Language allowed sapiens to share intricate ideas, to weave narratives, and to conjure worlds not bound by the physical realm. It was through the power of shared stories and myths that humans began to unite in larger and more cohesive groups. No longer confined to small family bands, they could now form sprawling tribes, bound not by blood, but by belief. This cognitive leap enabled the creation of shared fictions, belief systems that could galvanize entire communities towards common goals. Money, nations, gods, and corporations, all these constructs are born from the imaginative minds of humans. The cognitive revolution gave birth to unprecedented levels of cooperation. Unlike any other species, Homo sapiens could collaborate in large numbers with strangers, driven by collective myths. These myths were not lies, but rather shared beliefs that provided meaning and purpose, becoming the glue that held societies together. With language as their tool and imagination as their canvas, humans began to craft their destiny. They developed new ways to adapt and innovate, creating tools and technologies that would propel them forward. This ability to imagine and fabricate allowed them to tame fire, carve tools, and eventually cultivate the land. But the true power of the cognitive revolution lay in its ability to transform the way humans perceived the world and their place within it. For the first time, they could envision the future, learn from the past, and question the present. This cognitive leap gave rise to curiosity and creativity, sparking an insatiable quest for knowledge that would drive human progress for millennia. Yet, with great power came great responsibility. The very imagination that led to unparalleled cooperation also sowed the seeds of conflict. As myths clashed, societies waged war in the name of their gods and ideals. The same capacity for abstraction that birthed civilization also gave rise to its darkest facets: prejudice, greed, and destruction. The cognitive revolution was a double-edged sword, propelling humanity to incredible heights while also threatening to unravel its creations. It was the dawn of an era where ideas became the most powerful force on Earth, capable of both creation and annihilation. As we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, it is this revolution that echoes through the annals of history. It is a testament to the boundless potential of the human mind, capable of imagining worlds yet to come. In understanding this pivotal moment, we gain insight into the very essence of what it means to be human, a creature of imagination, capable of dreaming and shaping the future. In the grand tapestry of history, there comes a moment when the course of our species changed forever: the agricultural revolution. It was a transformation that reshaped the very fabric of human existence, setting the seeds of civilization into the fertile soil of our shared past. Before this epoch, humans roamed the earth as nomadic gatherers, living by the whims of nature's bounty. But the dawn of agriculture planted the first roots of permanence and power. 12,000 years ago, in fertile crescents and river valleys, a monumental shift began. Our ancestors, driven by necessity and the whisper of potential, turned their gaze downwards, to the earth beneath their feet. Here they discovered the secret to cultivation, taming wild grains and harnessing the cycle of growth and harvest. Wheat, barley, rice, simple yet profound discoveries that would alter the destiny of humankind. Yet, the agricultural revolution was not merely a story of abundance. It was a double-edged sword, a paradox of prosperity and peril. The promise of a stable food supply lured communities into the embrace of settlement. Villages burgeoned into towns, and towns into the first cities. The path to civilization was paved with the sweat of farmers and the toil of the earth. But with settlement came new challenges. The rise of agriculture forged chains of labor and hierarchy. Where once there was freedom to roam, now there were fields to tend and rulers to obey. The abundance brought by farming demanded protection, leading to the emergence of organized societies and the birth of governance. Empires began to rise on the backs of the farmers who fed them. This era of human history was not a sudden leap, but a gradual evolution. It spread like wildfire from the fertile banks of the Tigris and Euphrates to the lush valleys of the Indus and the Nile. Each region, each people, adapting the art of cultivation to their unique landscapes. The mastery of seeds and soil became the cornerstone of civilization. The agricultural revolution also sowed the seeds of inequality, as wealth and power concentrated in the hands of a few. Land became the currency of control, and with it, the birth of class and caste. The chieftains and kings who wielded this power began to etch their stories into stone, leaving behind monuments of their might and ambition. But as humanity settled into this new age, another silent revolution was taking place. The granaries of surplus allowed for the birth of new vocations. The artisan, the merchant, the scholar, each a new thread in the intricate weave of society. Knowledge, once passed by word of mouth, began to be inscribed and codified. The story of humankind was being written, one tablet, one scroll at a time. Yet, as we look back upon this pivotal epoch, we see a reflection of ourselves. The choices made by those early farmers echo through the ages, shaping the world in ways they could scarcely have imagined. The agricultural revolution was not just about the cultivation of crops, it was the cultivation of the human spirit, a spirit that would drive us to explore, innovate, and ultimately conquer the very world that nurtured us. In this chapter of our shared history, we find the roots of our greatest triumphs and most profound challenges. The seeds of civilization sown millennia ago continue to grow, branching into every facet of our modern lives. As we harvest the knowledge of our past, we cultivate the wisdom to guide our future. The story of the agricultural revolution is the story of all of us, a story still being written, one harvest at a time. In the grand tapestry of human history, few threads are as vibrant and intricate as the unification of humankind. This transformation, a tale of culture and conquest, has woven together disparate tribes and isolated communities into a singular, interconnected tapestry. It is a story spanning millennia, a relentless march from separation to unity, defined by the rise of shared myths and the forge of empires. In the early chapters of this saga, Homo sapiens was scattered across the globe, fragmented into countless tribes and clans. Each with its own language, customs, and gods, these groups existed in relative isolation. But the seeds of unity were already sown, hidden within the very fabric of human nature. For humans, unlike any other creature, possess the unique ability to believe in things that exist purely in the imagination. This cognitive leap enabled the creation of shared myths, stories that transcended individual experience and bound people together in common purpose. The first great unifiers were not empires or kings, but ideas. The rise of shared beliefs, whether animistic spirits, capricious deities, or ancestor worship, created bonds that could stretch beyond the confines of kin and clan. Religion, in its myriad forms, became the bedrock of cultural cohesion. It provided a common language of faith that could unite people across vast distances and diverse backgrounds. The pantheon of gods, with their tales of creation and morality, offered a universal narrative that could be embraced by all. Yet, as powerful as shared beliefs were, they were but the prelude to the larger forces of unification. Enter the age of conquest, where the ambitions of rulers and the clash of armies would redraw the maps of the ancient world. The first empires emerged, driven by the desire to dominate and unify. From the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia to the sprawling domains of China, empires rose on the backs of conquest, trade, and diplomacy. These empires were more than just political entities. They were cultural crucibles, melting pots where traditions fused and new identities emerged. Through war and peace, trade and tribute, the old boundaries of tribe and territory were eroded. Under the banner of a common ruler, people of disparate origins found themselves part of a grander narrative, a shared destiny orchestrated by the powerful and the ambitious. The unification of humankind through conquest was not solely about the subjugation of the many by the few. It was also a story of integration, where conquerors and the conquered alike contributed to a new, shared culture. The Persian Empire, with its policy of tolerance and respect for local customs, exemplified this blend, creating a vast network of peoples linked by roads and trade. Similarly, the Roman Empire's legal and administrative systems laid the groundwork for a common European identity, centuries before the concept of Europe itself existed. But culture and conquest did not only unify, they also sowed the seeds of conflict. The very forces that brought people together often set them against one another. Religious schisms, cultural clashes, and the struggle for power fueled wars that would, paradoxically, further the cause of unification by bringing new territories and peoples under a single banner. The march of Alexander the Great, the expansion of the Islamic caliphates, and the spread of the Mongol Empire all attest to this dual nature of conquest, destructive yet integrative. As we traverse the corridors of history, we see the story of human unification is far from a linear progression. It is a complex dance of cooperation and conflict, of fragmentation and fusion. Borders have shifted, languages have evolved, and cultures have intermingled. But through it all, the trajectory remains clear. A movement towards a connected humanity, a global community forged through shared dreams and common challenges. This journey of unification, though fraught with struggle and sacrifice, is a testament to the enduring spirit of Homo sapiens. It is a reminder that, while we may have begun as isolated bands of foragers, we have always been destined to come together, to share in the triumphs and trials of a collective journey. As we look to the future, the lessons of the past guide us. The unification of humankind is not a relic of history, but an ongoing quest, as relevant today as it was in the days of the first empires. In the vast tapestry of human history, a profound transformation unfolded, a revolution not waged on blood-soaked fields or through the clash of empires, but in the quiet chambers of human thought. This was the scientific revolution, a seismic shift that radically altered humanity's understanding of the world, and indeed of itself. To comprehend its significance, we must journey back to the 16th century, a time when the known universe was governed by dogma and tradition. For millennia, humankind had gazed at the heavens, interpreting the celestial dance of stars and planets through the lens of ancient myths and divine decrees. But as the dawn of the scientific revolution broke, a new breed of thinkers emerged, those who dared to challenge the narratives spun by religious and political authorities. They wielded a powerful new tool, the scientific method. It was an approach grounded not in faith, but in observation, experimentation, and evidence. One of the harbingers of this intellectual upheaval was a Polish mathematician named Nicolaus Copernicus. In 1543, he proposed a radical idea, that the Earth was not the center of the universe, but merely one of several planets orbiting the Sun. This heliocentric model defied centuries of accepted wisdom and sparked a fuse that would ignite the minds of future generations. As the candlelight flickered over parchment and ink, the quest for knowledge took on a relentless momentum. Galileo Galilei, with his telescopic revelations, saw moons orbiting Jupiter, challenging the celestial hierarchy. Johannes Kepler deciphered the elliptical paths of planets, harmonizing their movements with mathematical precision. And Isaac Newton, through his Principia Mathematica, unveiled the laws of motion and universal gravitation, binding the heavens and earth in a cosmic dance governed by immutable laws. But this revolution was not merely a collection of discoveries, it was a profound shift in the very fabric of human thought. It redefined the relationship between humankind and the cosmos, encouraging a spirit of inquiry that transcended the boundaries of nation and creed. The scientific revolution declared that knowledge was not the exclusive domain of an elite few, but a birthright of all who dared to seek it. The implications of this intellectual awakening were staggering. It laid the groundwork for the Age of Enlightenment, a period where reason and science were championed as the cornerstones of progress and human development. It inspired inventions and innovations that would propel societies into the modern age, from the steam engine to the printing press, and eventually the digital technologies that define our contemporary world. Yet, this newfound power was not without its shadow. As knowledge expanded, so too did the capacity for its misuse. The same principles that fueled the engines of industry and exploration also forged the machinery of war and exploitation. The scientific revolution, while a beacon of human potential, also posed profound ethical dilemmas, challenging us to consider the consequences of wielding such formidable power. Today, as we stand on the shoulders of these giants, the legacy of the scientific revolution endures. It is a testament to human curiosity and resilience, reminding us of our capacity to transcend ignorance and embrace understanding. It calls upon us to continue questioning, exploring, and pushing the boundaries of what is known, for in this relentless pursuit lies the true essence of what it means to be human. In the sweep of history, the scientific revolution was a pivotal chapter, a time when humanity broke free from the shackles of superstition and dared to dream of a world illuminated by knowledge and reason. It was a revolution that revealed the universe not as a mystery to be feared, but as a wondrous expanse to be explored, understood, and cherished. As we look to the future, we carry with us the torch of those who first dared to see beyond the veil, illuminating our path forward in the unending quest for truth. The industrial age was a turning point in the grand tapestry of human history, marking a period where the sinews of power shifted from muscle to machine. It was an era characterized by the relentless pursuit of progress, where steam and steel became the new monarchs of the world. As Yuval Noah Harari explores in Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, the Industrial Revolution was not merely a series of technological innovations, it was a profound transformation of society itself. In the 18th century, the world witnessed an unprecedented leap in production capabilities. The invention of the steam engine by James Watt heralded the dawn of mechanized labor, unleashing forces that would reshape the very fabric of human existence. Factories hummed with the rhythm of progress, and the plumes of smoke that rose from their chimneys were the heralds of a new age. This was a time when humanity learned to harness the latent energy of the earth, turning coal into power and power into prosperity. But this industrial symphony was not without its discordant notes. The age of machines brought with it a seismic shift in the social order. The traditional agrarian lifestyle, which had sustained humanity for millennia, was supplanted by the relentless march of industrial capitalism. As Harari notes, people were uprooted from the fields, their lives transformed into a ceaseless cycle of labor. Cities swelled with the influx of workers, each seeking fortune and stability in the shadow of towering smokestacks. The industrial age also saw the birth of the consumer society. Goods once handmade by artisans became mass-produced commodities, available to the burgeoning middle class. The economy flourished, driven by the insatiable appetites of consumers eager for the latest innovations. Railroads crisscrossed continents, shrinking distances and knitting the world ever closer together. Trade and commerce exploded, creating an interconnected global market where the ripples of industrial progress spread far and wide. Yet, as Harari eloquently observes, this new world was fraught with contradictions. While industrialization brought unparalleled wealth and technological advancement, it also sowed the seeds of inequality and exploitation. The factories that powered the engines of change often became the crucibles of human suffering, where workers toiled in harsh conditions for meager wages. The chasm between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses widened, challenging the very notions of justice and equity. Despite these challenges, the industrial age was a crucible of innovation, a time when the boundaries of possibility were constantly pushed. From the mechanized looms of the textile mills to the electrifying breakthroughs of Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, humanity's ingenuity seemed boundless. It was an age that celebrated the triumph of human intellect over nature, a testament to our capacity to reshape the world in our image. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, the legacy of industrialization became ever more apparent. The advancements made during this time laid the foundations for the modern world, setting the stage for the technological revolutions that would follow. The industrial age was a catalyst for change, a period when the engines of progress roared to life, forever altering the course of human history. In the grand narrative of Sapiens, the industrial age stands as a testament to the transformative power of human creativity and ambition. It is a chapter replete with both triumph and tragedy, where the dreams of progress collided with the harsh realities of an evolving world. Harari's exploration of this era invites us to reflect on the enduring impact of industrialization, challenging us to consider the costs and consequences of our relentless pursuit of advancement. As we journey through the annals of history, the industrial age serves as a poignant reminder of our capacity for both creation and destruction. It is a tale of engines and empires, of innovation and inequality, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humankind in its quest to conquer the future. As we embark on a journey into the future of Sapiens, we find ourselves at a crossroads, standing on the precipice of unprecedented change. Our species has long been defined by the biological constraints of evolution, but now we enter an era where biology is no longer destiny. The future heralds a new chapter, an age where humans may transcend their biological origins. In the past, the boundaries of human potential were dictated by the slow march of natural evolution. Yet today, scientific advancements thrust open the doors to a realm where genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology promise to reshape what it means to be human. We are the architects of our own evolution, no longer bound by the whims of nature. Consider the possibilities: genetic modifications that might eradicate diseases, enhance cognitive abilities, or even extend lifespans beyond our wildest dreams. Imagine a world where we are not only healthy, but optimized, tailored to thrive in environments of our choosing. But with such power comes profound responsibility. As we engineer our future, we must ask ourselves, what ethical lines should never be crossed? What defines the essence of humanity? The rise of artificial intelligence presents another frontier. Machines capable of learning, reasoning, and even creating may soon rival human intellect. In this brave new world, we are not alone at the top of the cognitive hierarchy. AI could become our greatest ally, unlocking solutions to challenges once deemed insurmountable. Yet, it could also become our greatest adversary, challenging our supremacy and even our existence. As we forge this future, we must ponder the implications of a world where sapiens may no longer be the dominant life form. Will we merge with technology, becoming cyborgs who bridge the gap between flesh and silicon? Or will we create entities that surpass us, nudging us aside in the evolutionary race? The philosophical and ethical dilemmas are as vast as they are complex. If we have the power to redesign life itself, how do we decide what forms it should take? What are the values we wish to preserve, and which are we willing to sacrifice on the altar of progress? Moreover, as we manipulate the code of life, we must grapple with the realities of inequality. Will these advancements be the privilege of a select few, widening the chasm between the haves and the have-nots? Or can we envision a future where the fruits of innovation are shared, uplifting all of humanity? In contemplating the future of sapiens, we must also consider the legacy we wish to leave behind. Are we creating a world where our descendants will flourish, or are we setting the stage for unforeseen consequences that may unravel the fabric of civilization? As we stand at this pivotal moment, the story of sapiens is still being written. It is a story of ambition and ingenuity, of curiosity and courage. But above all, it is a story of responsibility. How we choose to wield the extraordinary power of science and technology will define the next chapter of our history. The future of sapiens is not just about transcending biology, it is about redefining what it means to be human. It is a journey into the unknown, guided by the light of discovery and shadowed by the spectre of caution. In the end, the fate of our species lies in our hands, an epic tale of transformation yet to unfold.